Okay, YouTube is on. Facebook is still not working. You guys, this never happened before. My apologies. So whoever's on YouTube, just hang tight for a second. We're about to start. We might push all the traffic onto YouTube. So Alex, I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so we're just gonna message everyone on Facebook to say that we're only streaming on YouTube. All right, guys. So in the meantime, while Alex is messaging everyone on YouTube, first of all, welcome. Happy early Halloween, early Day of the Dead. What else? Is that it? Are those the only holidays coming up? So I am gonna show you what I have set up right now while we're waiting for other people to join and while we're waiting for Facebook to hopefully work in a second. So, okay guys, so first of all, I have my canvas, my 12 by 12 canvas, and then I have my paints, which I'm gonna set up right now. So it's gonna be 5 colors of paint. So I have my black. It's gonna take a little, this is gonna be, I apologize for any noise. Okay, so it's gonna be black, it's gonna be yellow, it's gonna be blue, and I'm gonna do pink, and a red. So let me get the red. So this one's like a bright red. Is it working, Alex? Okay, so these are my 5 colors of paint and I have them set up on my palette paper. So then I also have my cup with water and I have 2 brushes. I have a small brush and a large brush for the broader stroke. So let me just show it onto the camera. Okay, and then I also have my traceable, which looks like this. And then I have my tracing paper and graphite paper. So that's what we'll be using today. I also have some tape. So I'm gonna actually make it a little bit easier when you guys are tracing. We're gonna tape it down to the canvas just to hold it down so it doesn't shift. Okay? So I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes or so to set up. Okay, Alex is on chat. Can we hear you? I don't think we could hear you.
Can you hear me? I'm pretty sure you can hear me now.
Can we hear you? I don't know. Can you hear Alex, guys? Okay, we just tested the chat. Okay, so we are trying to get some of our people who wanted to join on Facebook onto YouTube. We're having some technical difficulties, so my apologies. So hopefully we'll get everything up and running in a second. But in the meantime, please finish setting up. I also have my adult beverage over here. And today it is a whiskey. I don't know, Alex made my drink.
Yes.
What kind?
Japanese.
A Japanese whiskey. Okay. I think we've had that before.
You have. It's one that you like. It's meant to be a large glass for you.
We can't hear Alex.
You should be able to now.
Okay, can you just confirm, guys, that you could hear Alex?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing. Okay, yes, we got a yes. Awesome. Okay, in the background, let me just make you a little bit louder. I think you're good. Let me just check this thing. Okay, I think you're good. So the other last thing that we need is either a pencil, a pen, a colored pencil, just so we could trace this. So it's better to have it be in color, just so you guys could see what you're tracing. So I'm gonna get one right now. Oh man. I'm getting a colored pencil. Okay. Okay guys, so I got a colored pencil. It happens to be red, so this way you could see what I'm tracing. Ooh. So for those of you who are just joining, I'm just gonna go over my supplies just one more time so you could see. And everyone else, just feel free to grab your drink, give yourself a refill, whatever you need, get some snacks. So I have my 12 by 12 canvas. Alex?
Hard check.
Thank you. God, it's always delayed.
I'm back on it. Okay, let's
Okay,
do
are
this.
you back? You
Let's,
sure?
Let's start on the canvas one more time.
Okay, and I think I have lipstick on my teeth, but that's
Probably,
okay.
but you know.
But you tell me.
It's an
You'll do a
adventure.
little check.
We're
It's
on
an
an
adventure.
Here we go.
Okay, so we have our canvas.
Check.
We have our 5 colors of glow-in-the-dark paint.
Glow-in-the-dark check.
Okay, we have our cup with water.
That is separate from drinking water and or
That is
beverage.
separate from drinking water.
Check.
Okay, we have our 2 brushes, a large and a small.
Large check, small check.
Awesome. Okay, and then we have our traceable. Is that what it's called? Our design.
Is there a second word that comes after that? A traceable.
Is just a
stencil or paper?
Stencil, yeah, stencil.
Traceable check.
Okay, and then we have our graphite and tracing paper.
Graphite and tracing paper check.
Okay, and then most importantly, we have our adult beverage.
Beverage.
And Alex, what do you have?
Tonight we have the Jameson that we brought back from our distillery visit.
Wow,
the
okay.
Bow Street.
What is it called? Bow Street.
Well, it was on Bow Street if you remember, but it's just an 18-year
I do remember.
Whiskey.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, let me know who's ready to start. Is everyone set up? I'm going to do a tooth check real quick. Oh, okay.
Good?
I think so.
There you go.
Okay. So guys, the first thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna put the graphite paper onto the canvas. You're gonna do the dark side. So the part with the graphite, you're gonna put it down, kind of in the middle of your canvas. And then you're gonna put your traceable stencil, whatever you wanna call it, on top, also kind of in the middle. And then I'm gonna put this tracing paper over it. So you guys feel free to tape this down. It's gonna be a little bit easier for you to trace. So I'm gonna do that right now. It's better to tape 2 of the sides, not 3, just so you could lift it up and kind of see what you're tracing. And if you don't have tape, it's totally fine. You could just hold it down. I actually did it last time without the tape, so That also works. Okay. So that way it's kind of all together and it's not moving around. Perfect. So I'm just gonna take this, I'm just gonna move it a little bit closer to me. And then I'm gonna start tracing it. So you guys can use a pencil, you could use a pen, you could just use something that has a point to it. Just make sure that you're not pressing down too hard because you don't want to rip the canvas. You ready? So cool. Does it right now? Yeah. Wait till the lights come on.
Listen, you got to be excited for the whole process, not just the
You're
end.
right. And guys, don't worry so much about the details. You'll add them later on. Well, we didn't start painting yet.
I mean, we usually start before
we should.
I mean, come on now.
You know, I just got so flustered with the Facebook not working that it just...
Where was the credence?
So are we holding our pencil? Okay, you're right. Okay, so Alex...
It's time for a pledge.
Alex is right. It's time for a pledge. So sorry, guys. This was a very important step that we somehow missed.
Fearless. Come on.
All right, guys. So we are going to take our pencil in the air. Okay, we're going to hold it up. And you guys are going to repeat after me. I promise.
I promise.
To relax and have fun.
To relax and have fun.
To not judge my painting.
To not judge my painting.
Or the painting of others.
Or the painting of others.
And to be fearless.
And to be fearless.
Thank you, Alex. This was a very important step that we somehow missed. Okay, guys. So I'm starting to trace. And just don't worry about all the details. Just get the basic shapes. I don't know why I started with the flower. I just got so excited about this design. But you could actually start with the shape of the skull. So I'm going to do that now. So the black line that's outlining the skull, you don't need to do a double line with your pencil. Just do one line, and then when we fill it in, it'll be thicker automatically. So don't worry about doing the double line anywhere. And you guys, I got so flustered in the beginning. I want to welcome everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our live paint party.
Friday night paint party.
Friday night. Happy early Halloween. Happy early Day of the Dead. So happy you guys are joining us. Dia de las Muertas. No? Yes.
Is it Muertas or Muertos?
I don't know. Someone needs to help us. Okay, so I'm just going over the design, and then you guys could lift up your paper just to see that everything is coming out right. And don't worry about whether it's perfect or not on the canvas. You'll get to fix it later on.
Got muertos.
Muertos.
Confirmation, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
To Miss Watercolor and Ink Time Lapses.
I think that's Helena.
I know it is.
So you guys, this is the part where you could really get creative here. So instead of doing the florals, you could do any other shape that you want. So if you want to add some hearts, if you want to add geometric shapes, this is your time to do that. So don't worry about getting exactly this design down on your canvas.
Like
yeah.
Rough some of that.
You could do a rough some of that, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But also you could change up the shapes. So if you're not, you know, a floral person, you could do geometric shapes, hearts, whatever you feel. And then if you guys change your minds later, you also have an opportunity to change the design afterwards as you're painting. You know, last time I did this design, I did it with a pencil and I couldn't see what I was tracing, and it was just...
Was that for the
So-
better or for the worse?
for the worse.
You never know, sometimes.
And now I could see everything and it's amazing.
You just gotta let your pencil run wild, and what comes out, what comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it still came out, so it's fine.
Oh, we got some people joining. Hi, there. Who we got on?
We got... It's hard to
Steve's
see
here,
the chats.
Cheryl's here, Yara's here, the lady's here.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Okay, there we go. Hi, Inga. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Kiara. Welcome, guys.
And Christina.
And Christina. I think I said hi to Christina before. Okay, so is anyone dressed up today?
And no fibbing. No.
Alex may or may not be. You'll never know. Or maybe you will.
Listen, you already made me dress up. I was already subjected
To the pain.
and objectified.
So I'm just continuing to get these shapes down. I think this is the most intricate design that we've done so far. But it's gonna be really easy because you're basically just gonna be coloring it in. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun and you don't have to worry about messing up because it's just coloring
That was never
and
my
mixing.
forte.
What?
Coloring and this whole coloring inside the lines.
Well, you don't have to stay inside the
So
lines.
many rules. It's never my forte.
And even these eyes that have the lines coming out of it, I'm just simplifying the shapes. On my end, I'm just doing circles. And then I'll add those, what are they called? Shadows for the petals? So I'll add them later on, so don't even worry about it. So I'm just really just simplifying these shapes here. Okay, I got one eye down. And then I'm just checking just to see that everything's transferring over, just in case. And that way you know maybe you have to press a little bit harder just so it comes out a little darker on your canvas.
It's so crazy.
What?
The design.
What
looks
about
so
it?
crazy.
Is it?
It looks so cool.
Does it?
It does.
Well, you haven't seen nothing yet.
The show's just beginning,
Exactly.
as one might say. Nelson, mind business.
Alex, do you want to tell everyone your costume?
No, I do not. I was already subjected to a photo shoot against my will.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Alex is definitely not Nelson. I'll be putting out these false rumors on the internets.
But you'll never know. So were people who were planning to join on Facebook able to find us?
Some, hopefully.
Okay.
Was this your
My
only
pencil might
costume?
need to be sharpened.
Well, sharpen, what do you use for that? Do you need like a little,
No, I think
blade or
I think I'll make it.
maybe you're pressing too hard?
I think I am. It's like a good way to de-stress also.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
So mine is shifting around a little bit, so I'm just gonna try to hold it down a little bit better.
Hold it down. Well, you only take two sides.
I did because I want to peek at what's happening here. But last time I didn't even tape it down and it was fine. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe
Steady
that was
hands.
Wrong strategy.
Maybe.
Yeah, so you have one on each of the top corners, and then you can lift it up.
Say it again.
One on each of the top corners, and then you can lift it up to peak.
I don't know about that.
It's okay. What do you dress up as?
Right now?
What have you dressed up as, or will dress up as?
You mean for Halloween?
Halloween's.
So yesterday we actually had a costume contest. And I was dressed up as, I'm blanking out on her name. Mia
Wallace.
Wallace, thank you.
Ms.
Mia,
Wallace.
Miss Wallace from Pulp Fiction.
There's also a backup costume.
There was a backup costume that I did with Alex, who surprisingly was on board.
Wow. Hurtful.
Do you wanna
No.
speak of what it was?
I try not to think of it.
What?
I try not to think of it.
Why?
I was just bossed around from doing a photo shoot.
So Alex was dressed up as Mutt from Schitt's Creek, which is our latest show that we've been binging on.
False. We fall asleep every time. We get
What?
Every time we get a good run going, we come to a screeching halt.
That was false, everyone. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so mine shifted a little and I'm scared to see what I've done. Okay, that's not so bad.
It's fine.
It's fine. So I'm gonna take this off and I'm just gonna try to go over this with my pencil, because right now it shifted a bit. So I'm just gonna go over it a little bit. Can you see how crooked mine is right now? But it's okay because we're gonna cover it with paint.
It's art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna move this nose a little bit to the side. And then I'm gonna go over some of these. But for the most part, it transferred over.
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did everyone else do? I definitely would have failed at that.
So Inga falls asleep on Schitt's Creek too, so it's not just me.
Right, but if we were only limited to Schitt's Creek, is that the occurrence? That would be one thing.
I think it happens during every single show.
It might have. But that's neither here nor there.
But anyway.
I definitely would have messed it up. If I had to trace one.
That's not true. You're not supposed to judge your own work.
There you go, Cheryl. Hello.
Hello from Maine. We were just in Maine 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Welcome, Nancy. So I am drinking some kind of fancy whiskey that Alex poured into my cup. I don't know what it's called, but it tastes pretty good.
It's called Yamazaki.
Yamasaki
Yamazaki.
with a Y
With a Z and an I.
and a Y.
And an I. There's no Y's.
No, and what's the first letter?
Yeah. Oh well, I guess I'm there again. I didn't know that was
Okay.
the question.
Yeah, he's very fancy. Okay, so guys, so before we start painting, I'm gonna dim the lights a little bit so you get the full effect. So feel free to use your flashlights. So if you open them, there's 3 batteries that go into them. It's AAA and yeah. And then you could just hang them however you want over the painting or hold it over just so you see the full effects while you're painting. So I'm actually gonna flip these.
What's happening?
We're getting a little mood lighting here. As we're gonna start to paint. And then we might actually add a little bit more mood lighting. You ready?
If
I
you
always
can
have a hard
I'll
time.
be so impressed. There you go.
I always have a hard time doing that. You know, so many technical difficulties today. I just don't know. But it is Friday, so. Okay, so you guys can sort of still see my painting. I'm just gonna raise it up a bit. Okay, so who's ready to paint? Who's never painted before, first of all? I think this group has painted before.
I've definitely never painted in the dark before.
Who's never painted in the dark before? Okay. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm gonna take my large brush. And you guys, this is your painting, so feel free to use whatever colors you want. If I'm using pink, you could use yellow instead. You could use blue, red. You could also mix these colors. So if you want to make orange, you could also do that. What?
Glow in the dark orange.
Glow in the dark orange. So by mixing.
Honey, you promised there'd be no pop quizzes. We go over this, and every time. Let's see, what do you have over there?
It's
Maybe a couple of those. Some of those over there.
a couple of which
A couple
ones?
of those colors over there.
Okay.
If you just mix a few, they'll come together
To make orange?
to make orange.
Probably.
You know, it's a trial and error thing.
Okay, guys, so I'm gonna use pink for the skull. So you guys could use whatever you want. I don't recommend using blue because it's not as bright. So you could use either yellow, pink, red, or mix any of those combinations together to get like an orangey color. So I just gave you a hint.
Is it red and yellow?
Yes.
Yeah. There
Yes.
you go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna paint right over the skull, but I'm gonna leave the teeth out. So everything else I'm covering up with the pink, and I'm making it not as heavy, so that way I could still see my design through it. But I'm just not gonna cover the teeth because I want them to be a bright yellow. So I'm just painting everything around the teeth.
Inside the skull still?
Inside the skull, yeah. And even if you go outside of the lines, it's fine because we're gonna paint everything around it. So don't worry about being neat here.
But very thin.
And I mean, I think I'm still covering it up, but I'm still seeing the design.
Interesting.
So you don't want the canvas to show through. Okay, so I'm just painting this with the pink. I'm just going in vertical strokes, just up and down. I have some kind of yellow spot on here.
That was pretty cool.
There we
How'd
go.
they get there?
I don't know.
How'd they get there?
So I'm covering up the skull, but I could still see the lines through my paint. I hope everyone could see it also.
The pumpkins and the mood lighting is very on point.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we just lost the camera.
Oh,
We're back.
where's she? Check your home.
I can't say anything. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, so I'm almost done painting the entire skull with the pink. And then I'm even gonna make the paint just slightly thicker because I wanna cover up the entire canvas. So I don't want any of the white to show through. So I'm still covering up some of these details here just to make sure that the paint covers up the canvas. How's everyone doing with the pink? It's surprising that I can still see all of the lines.
It's surprising.
Surprising a little
Why?
bit.
You thought it'd be.
Because I thought it would be covered. You're doing good, Cheryl. Okay, so now that my entire skull is covered, I'm gonna go in with the black and just cover up the entire background. So I'm just gonna wash my brush. And then I'm gonna take the black and I'm just gonna cover up the entire canvas with the black. And this is the part where if you want to change the shape of your skull a little bit, you could do that here. And then the rest of the background is just gonna be in black.
It's gonna look so cool and pop out when it's like all surrounded with black.
Yeah.
I think so.
I hope so. Okay, so even now it's starting to pop a little bit more. Can you hear the sound of the brush? It's like so therapeutic.
The asthma?
The what?
The asthma, ASMR? Isn't that what you call it?
ASMR. Yeah. And I'm just getting kind of messy. I'm just covering up the canvas with the black. And I'm just not really caring which direction I go in. But then once I get to the skull, I'm going to try to be a little careful with my lines. My water looks really cool right now. It's like a pink color.
Can you see?
No?
Your water where?
This.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Pepto color.
You know, really the Halloween spirit.
So you guys, so Day of the Dead is actually a Mexican tradition that has nothing to do with Halloween. It's basically a holiday to celebrate your loved ones who have passed, and it's a really beautiful tradition.
Well, isn't that something? Said, well, isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's true. You paint something and you learn something.
Exactly.
One-stop shop.
And the sugar skulls are actually meant to be very colorful and beautiful, but not spooky.
They didn't really think that one out when they went on the skull, huh?
So I'm actually, while I'm waiting for this paint to dry, I'm actually painting the sides of my canvas black as well.
Some of them you paint the sides, some you don't.
Some, I know. It's just when we wait
You
for the
know
paint
how it
to,
feels?
what?
You just go with, you know.
Just go with a feeling?
Yes.
I guess so.
The feeling says paint the sides. Sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't.
And this step is totally optional. But I like painting the sides, especially if you want to hang up the painting. And that way it looks almost like a frame. Right?
It would be one of those paintings that
Just trying to not get it on
shine
fire.
in the dark.
What?
When you get up at night. it will
It's
be-
gonna scare you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be glowing.
I thought I just got the black all over the actual skull, but all good.
Just living a life on the edge, aren't we? Wonder how everyone else is looking. Wonder if anyone went with a different color
Did anyone go with a different color?
for the skull. Do we have any oranges, yellows, or anything crazy?
Because pink is very, not to...
Excuse me.
A what?
Excuse me. A little
A what?
something in the throat there.
pink. I just got the paint all over my computer, all over this table. Yeah. This is why I don't normally paint the sides, because it gets a little messy.
And now we run.
So now I can't really touch it because there's paint all over.
You need like one of those little fans.
A little fan, yeah.
Cheers.
We forgot to cheers. You know, we forgot everything today.
Yeah, so I thought we should have it earlier.
True. Good point. Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna take my small brush and I'm gonna do the teeth. I don't know why. I just want to start with the teeth. So I'm gonna use the yellow for them, but you guys could use any other color you want. You could also mix the red and yellow to make orange. But I'm gonna do yellow.
I like it.
Oh, and then you could also do blue and yellow to
yeah.
make green. Yeah, so it's gonna be a bright. Good. Finally, after like, I don't know how many times painting. You're finally learning. And you could also, you know, play around with the teeth.
Do you trace the teeth, or do you like you're filling them in?
So I'm filling them in, and then later we're gonna trace it with black.
Oh. So should the paint be thin enough that we can still see our teeth outline? Or we'll kind of roughly estimate.
Well, once you color it in, then you don't really need the outline anymore.
Interesting.
Because then the shape is already defined. But I can surprisingly still see my outline here.
These candles are just radiating heat, aren't they?
Are they? Okay, so the teeth are almost done. And I'm just going over them a little bit just to make the paint a little bit thicker. Okay, so now I'm gonna wash this brush and I'm gonna color in the nose. So I'm gonna color in the nose using black.
could be a foolish question. But is the nose an intentional skull, heart upside down?
I think that's how the actual skull is.
Is it?
I think so. That just happens to be the shape once you take out the nose. It's just an upside down heart.
Did you notice that before I said it?
Yeah, because I drew it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to wash the brush again. And I'm just going to start going in here with other colors. So guys, feel free to use whatever colors you want. Experiment with mixing green, mixing orange. And we're just going to fill in the design.
It's a free-for-all, huh?
It's a free-for-all.
Well, no.
But I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to use the yellow for the outside of the eyes. So I'm just going to fill this in with yellow.
Hey, yellow or orange?
I don't, so because it's on the pink, it looks a little bit orange.
It's pretty cool. Happy accident.
Happy accident. So I'm just filling in the eyes with the yellow. But guys, I encourage you to use any color you want.
Not just the yellow?
Not just the yellow.
I wonder where the blue could come in.
It'll come in soon.
Maybe somewhere it can be accented more, maybe thrown in.
So I found that this blue, for some reason, isn't as bright. So it doesn't glow as much as the other colors.
Ah.
But it still looks cool. We're going to use it next.
I support the glowing colors.
So it's easier, guys, if you use the yellow throughout the parts that you want to be yellow, as opposed to doing yellow and then doing blue and then going back to yellow and then doing another color and then going back to yellow again. So if you want it's easier to do the yellow all at once. So just decide for yourself, okay, I want this little circle to be yellow and I want this dot to be yellow. So it's easier that way, but you could add the yellow later if you want to. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more yellow to mine. So I'm gonna do the circle in yellow.
What makes it a little easier?
Just so you're not washing the brush, I guess, because it's annoying to have to wash the brush and then dip it into another color. So that way you just get that color done at once, and then you wash the brush and you use another color and you get that done.
Interesting.
But I guess it's just a personal preference. Doesn't really matter.
It's a good method.
Maybe some people find washing the brush therapeutic, and they want to do it over and over and over and over again.
Dab it out.
But I'm also pretty indecisive, so I don't know where I would want my yellow.
You just gotta let it.
Yeah, so I think if you're a decisive person, then I guess it's a good method. If you're not, then you just add it later on.
Let your heart roam free on the yellow.
Exactly.
With the glow and the dark ones, is it better to have these lighter colors so it pops more?
I think so, yeah, because the lighter colors, I think, glow more. Because I'm gonna show you guys what the blue looks like, and then you're gonna decide where you want to use it. So I'm gonna wash this. Okay, so I'm gonna do the blue. So I'm gonna do the blue on the outer part of the yellow. And that's where I've chosen to do it, but you guys don't need to do the same colors that I'm doing. So you see how it almost looks black. So this color is dark when you're using the black light. But maybe if you mix it with the yellow and it becomes green, it might be a lot brighter. So we're gonna experiment with that later.
It could be glowing green.
Like I just thought of slime for some reason.
It's a good example.
I don't know why.
Nickelodeon.
The good old days.
Ah, yes.
How is everyone doing, guys?
It'd be cool if YouTube can do like the Instagram type hopping, so they can quickly show
Oh.
what they're doing, like one at a time.
Like if I invite them to my live.
No, like, isn't it on Instagram, like, when you're doing a live?
Yeah, you could
you
invite
can,
people
like,
to join.
accept one more person and, or like,
Yeah,
and have like a video chat with them on the live.
yeah. So that used to be on Facebook as well, but then they got rid of that feature.
They said just for Instagram, otherwise we're copying them too much.
Well, it's the same company.
Agreed.
I kind of want to paint with blacklight paint all the time.
Why is that? Do you like painting in the dark, or do you like the fact that it glows?
That it glows. But also it looks good in regular light. So it's kind of that extra, surprise factor.
Cheryl says this is hard. You can do it, Cheryl, I believe.
Cheryl, you can do it. Let me know what I can help with.
You can have a simpler skull.
Yeah, I'm just coloring in these shapes that I created. And then I'm just gonna add some blue to some of the other shapes.
You can finish mine.
It always looks not so great in the beginning, and then somehow it just all comes together in the end. Like a lot of our paintings, it just looks like blobs for 90% of it, and then we do the last step, and it's like, it just like magically comes together. So this is gonna happen. Yeah. So I think once we start tracing with the black, this is gonna happen.
I like it.
So keep going, Cheryl. So then I might also want to add some blue petals here. And then maybe I also want to do these petals in blue as well. And I'm kind of just making it up as I go.
Because why not?
Because why not? Because you're basically just coloring in these shapes. Basically. Alex, I think I need a refill.
Do you?
I think so. It's about that time. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm gonna try to mix green. So I'm gonna do the yellow and the blue. Let's see what I got. And I'm gonna add more yellow to it just to make it brighter. Okay, so this actually came out pretty good, this green. So then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do some of the leaves. So I'm gonna do these leaves in green. And don't worry guys about the outline. So the line that connects these leaves together, that's gonna be black later on. So I'm just coloring in the leaves. Oh, we just saw Alex. Just for a split second. Okay, so on camera it actually looks yellow as well, but in real life it's a little more green. So you could add more blue to it to make it even more green.
It's pretty solid green.
Yeah, but look on camera, it looks yellow, right?
Well, it says it's very bright on camera, and you have like the candlelight by it too.
Yeah.
It's like bringing it all out.
Yeah, but it's a solid green, according to Alex.
Good green's green.
So I'm basically just coloring in these leaf shapes with the green. And then some of these might need an additional layer just because the pink is kind of showing through. So you might want to go over it again. Where else should I put green? Oh, there's more leaves here.
It's starting to look a little more green. Some ones.
It is, yeah, on top it is, for some reason.
It's like it's slowly fading into its greenness.
And again, I'm just doing the leaves. I'm not even worrying about the stems because I'm gonna do those in black. So I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some orange.
Because why not, right?
Because why not? Alex, do you remember what orange is?
Listen, I just put myself on camera for that split fine Waldo millisecond. Absolutely not playing any more pop quizzes.
You got it before.
A lot of guesses.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Orange
mix.
is red and yellow.
So good. Okay, so I'm gonna mix these two colors together. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna move this over.
Not. Little,
Ah, I can't move it over.
little pink and yellow.
Okay, this looks yellow, but it's actually orange. Believe it or not. So I mixed the red with the yellow.
Are you able to pick it up at all?
Yeah, let me pick it up again.
They're
It's
allowed to-
stuck. Okay, so right here. So I'm just mixing the yellow and the red.
Very nice.
Okay. Okay, so then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do the bigger petals. Alex, what was like your favorite Halloween costume of all time that you did?
What?
You heard me.
What was my favorite?
Like your favorite Halloween costume that you dressed up as.
When I was in grade school, I did the Scream costume, but I was the one where you can pump the blood through the mask.
Wait, what?
It was fantastic.
What do you mean where you could pump the blood through the mask?
Like, it had the mask, but it had like, it was a different type of mask where I could pump like red liquid through it to make it look like blood. It's fantastic.
And that was when you were in elementary school?
Yeah.
Wow, that's aggressive.
You know, and obviously this year's Mutt performance was,
This year's mod was on
was
point.
probably top of the charts.
What, yeah?
No.
Okay, so I'm also gonna do this outer line in orange as well. trying to think. I feel like every year I have at least 3 costumes.
Was it the Firefox of 2018?
That was one of my favorites. So I dressed up as a logo of the Firefox logo. So
Which one? Elaborate, please.
so it was a fox outfit, but then I got a giant globe, like a blow up globe, and held it like that. So that was a fun one.
Did anyone ask you that day? What does the fox say?
Yes, actually. But at the time, I didn't know what that reference was, so I was like, "What are you talking about?"
It was only until I educated you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to think what else. Like,
Did you dress up a lot when you were younger?
yeah. I remember my friend and I dressed up as like an elderly couple. We were maybe like 8 years old or so, and we dressed up like we were 100. So that was a lot of fun. And we walked around trick or treating, but people thought that we were actually old people. Like, it was very believable. From afar.
Did you have a walker and everything?
I think we had canes.
Cane? Put your cane out.
Okay, guys, so I'm just using the orange and I'm just going over the outer part of the eyes. So the outer part of the flower shape.
The orange gives it a nice touch.
Does it? Can
Yeah.
you see that it's orange? You
I
can.
can see that the middle
The
flower
flower's orange, yeah.
And I can kind of see that the outside of the eyes is orange.
But what happens when you mix yellow and pink?
Listen, we're not even going there, alright?
I don't know what
Just
happens.
don't even.
But we could try it right now.
Just don't even.
Okay, so I'm also gonna do these, I don't know what to call them, teardrops.
Maybe.
I'm also gonna make them orange.
Oh, like above his mouth.
Yeah. How do you know it's a he?
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that as soon as I got that slip.
Okay. So I'm also gonna use the orange for the flower on the bottom. Because why not, right?
I like it.
I actually haven't tried out just the red, but I'm thinking it's probably gonna be too similar to the pink on here. Has anyone done just red? I'm curious to see what that'll be like. I could try it right here. It looks almost like an orangey red. Okay, so the red is very similar to the pink. Let me try it. I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, you can't even see. Can't really see it. And it does look coral. It's very pretty. Okay. So I'm actually gonna use the blue again, and I'm gonna do the center of the eyes with the blue. But you guys could keep it pink, you could do red, you could do yellow. It's really up to you. Oh, and then I left out these flowers over here.
How could you?
I know, right? I'm trying to decide what color to make them. Should I do yellow or orange? What do you think
Yeah.
for these? Or coral? No opinion? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do orange. So you guys, it's all gonna come together in the end, and the skull is gonna be a lot more defined once we trace it with the black. It almost looks white, or actually it looks yellow on the screen. Do you see it? Do you see it here, right? Doesn't it look white?
No, it's all
No?
orangey from here.
Okay, so I'm just filling in the remainder of these florals. And then I think I missed this little guy. Okay, so I'm gonna do blue for this one. But again, you guys could do whatever colors you want.
Oh, it's so cool.
Which part?
The whole skull. Can't wait for us to trace.
We're about to do that right
I
now.
know, I'm excited for it.
Okay. Alex, did you post on Facebook in the event page?
In the event page, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we commented on the event.
Okay.
Like your post that has the,
Yeah.
all the stuff.
All the stuff. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna start tracing. So I'm gonna do the teeth first because the paint is very dry there. So you wanna do the black paint where the paint is already dry. So I'm just gonna go around the teeth. So I'm literally just tracing the shape of the teeth with my brush. So I'm using hardly any water. I'm just using a lot of black paint. And then I'm just tracing each tooth. With this paint.
Like the process has begun and come together.
The coming together.
It has begun. It's more of
Huh?
time. No.
Oh, is it?
You don't need it.
You know I'm really bad with movie
I don't
references.
It's a lost cause. Is what it is.
But you already know.
I already know.
Okay, so then I'm gonna trace the bottom part. And I'm literally just tracing the shape of these teeth. kind of like that. It's a little crooked. It's okay.
We'll take him to the orthodontist. Straighten that bad boy out.
Okay. So then I'm gonna do these parts. So I'm really gonna define the cheekbones. So there was a line here in the traceable. Why do I keep saying traceable? I don't know either. The outline. So I'm literally just gonna define the cheekbone here. So it's basically, it's a curve. So if you guys don't have this line that you marked with a pencil, it's okay. It's literally just a curve that goes around the cheekbones. And then there's also the line here. So basically this entire part, you're gonna color in black. So I'm just doing the curve into where the nose is, and then there's a design here. And I'm improvising a little bit just because I think I covered up some of the design. It's almost like a claw. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So the curve starts from above, and then you're basically outlining the cheekbone and going in to where the mouth is. So this is your curve. So I'm just outlining the cheekbone and then continuing the curve to the mouth. And then if I'm following the traceable, damn it, the outline, it kind of goes out a little bit. And then there's also a little piece here. But you guys could improvise this part. So it's basically, you're just outlining the cheekbone, which that's the most important part. And you could even extend it out a little bit. Okay, so then I'm gonna outline these lines above the cheekbones. So it's these curves. So I'm just applying really light pressure to my brush, and I'm just coloring in these curves. And there's another curve, a little curve that goes here. So I'm literally just tracing it in black.
You have them like bags under the eyes, huh?
Huh?
Like bags under the eyes.
Is that what it looks like?
Maybe.
And then I'm doing the same thing for the other side. And then I have these teardrop shapes. I'm also gonna color them in with black. So then I'm gonna do the floral.
Okay.
You ready?
With like tracing it?
So we are gonna outline it with black. So I'm gonna do the circle first. So I'm just outlining the circle. You ready? I don't know why I'm saying you're ready because we already started.
Okay, we're well on the way.
You ready?
We can't abort ship now.
You can't. Okay, so we just did the circle, easy, right?
Easy peasy.
So then we're gonna also trace the petals. So we're also doing just a rounded curve for the petal. So you're just tracing your shape.
We're getting fancy,
Are we?
Are we?
Well, we're about to get fancy. In a little bit. Okay, so all we're doing, we're just tracing this flower over here. Okay, so we got one down. I'm gonna also do the one on the top and then these ones on the sides. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then I'm doing this guy over here. Okay, and I'm gonna do the top flower.
Wow.
Doesn't really look like a flower. Sorta.
Wow.
Mm. And then I'm gonna do the, what are they called? The vines? Is that what it's called?
Garnish.
So I'm gonna do all of these curvy lines also in black. So I'm just tracing over it. And also tracing the leaves. So I'm just gonna do these curvy lines. And then I'm tracing the leaves as well.
What an interesting mix.
Hmm?
It's flowers on a skull. It's a very
Yeah.
symbolic, interesting mix.
Okay, so then I'm gonna continue with the vines. So it's kind of all coming together here. And I'm gonna continue tracing the leaves.
Very nice.
There's a lot of vines here in this one.
It really adds the
I'm
intricacy.
just doing, yeah, this one's like super intricate.
I think yours are a little more so.
Okay, so now we're gonna trace the eyes. So we're gonna trace the petals in the eyes. So I'm gonna do the circle around the eyes.
These eyes.
And then I'm gonna do all of the petals. I want to do the same thing for the other one. Yeah.
The casualties.
Yeah. It's gonna glow in the dark now. Can't see. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to my brush just so it'll help kind of spread the black paint. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the bottom. So I'm also gonna trace this flower. And then do the vines. Okay, so I'm still tracing these vines. Just adding these intricate details. And guys, feel free to change up these details. Okay, so now I'm gonna trace this part of the eyes. So the part that's around the blue. So I'm just adding the curved lines around the blue shape. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the top of the orange shape. So also I'm just defining this line. And you could, again, you could add a little bit of water to your brush just so it'll make it easier to do these curves.
Why does the water help?
That's a good question. It just helps to spread the paint a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna go around the blue. So I'm going around these curves. And then around these orange curves as well. Okay, so now this is one of the last steps. I'm gonna add some curvy lines in the petals so that way it's adding some more definition in the florals. So I'm just gonna go into the center of the petal and just gonna add a curvy line or two. So there's one. And then I'm just gonna go around doing the same thing. And these lines aren't perfect. Sometimes there's even multiple lines in one. So I'm gonna do the same thing for this flower. And then the same thing for this orange flower above. So I could add even 2 lines here and then maybe even 3 lines here. So it's just curves inside of these petals. And then the same thing for these.
Gives it that extra touch.
It does. And then the same thing here. And this was actually on our original design. Crinkle paper. So I don't want to get this into the candle. But this was in the original design where these lines are coming out of the center. So we're just adding them back in. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the leaves. So I'm adding one line from the bottom of the leaf and then going up kind of like that. So it's definitely giving a lot more definition in the leaves now. And the same thing here. And then, so I'm also gonna go in here. So I'm gonna wash my brush. Ooh, it's been a long time since I washed it. And I noticed that I missed some of these shapes. So there's like some circles here. There's some teardrops here. So I'm just going to fill them in with a color. What color should I do? Black? I just washed my brush.
Blue. Yellow.
Blue? Are you just going to go through all of them? Ooh, should I try coral?
Coral.
I don't think it's going to show up. Let's see. Yeah, it's not really showing up. Okay, I'm going to do blue. Sold. But you could also do green. You could do orange. Yellow. So I'm just going to color in these circles. And then I'm going to do the teardrops.
Wheezy baby.
What? What? Was that some kind of reference that I don't know? Okay, so I think that's it, guys. That was the last
piece?
The last piece for me, at least. So if you guys are still working on yours, you could keep going. And I'm still filling it in. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. So there you have it, your sugar skull. You could use a flashlight to shine on it to see it glow.
You want to see what it looks like.
You do want to see what it looks like.
Theirs look like.
I do want to see what theirs looks like. So if you guys want to post yours on social media, please tag our name, Creatively Box, so that we could see what you've created. So till next time, see you guys soon.
Introducing your next box, your
No, I'll post about it.
All right. No sneak peek.
No sneak peek today. All right, guys. See ya.
Have a happy holidays.
Have a happy holiday. Bye.